Alex Palou isn't just a champion. He is the greatest. And I don't know whether he's willing to say he's the greatest or not, but he's a three-time IndyCar Series champion. He's looking to go back-to-back this season. He's won 5 of his last 6 races, which is crazy, and finished second in the other one. And he got the Indy 500 yesterday. He's the first Spaniard to do so. So we're very excited to have Alex on the show. Thank you for joining us, Alex. What have the last 24 hours been like for you? How did you sleep? How did you celebrate? How crazy has life been?
Thank you guys for having me in the show, but it's been crazy. As you can see, I lost my voice. Been a lot of screaming and celebrating with the team, with the family, and it's been nonstop since we crossed that.
Can you tell me what the highlight was after winning and all of the experiences of the last 24 hours after the winning? Does it have to be the milk?
Yes, I would say the milk. The milk is the biggest tradition, right? And it's the biggest difference to all other races. Instead of champagne, it's milk, and that milk tasted so good. I loved it, every second of it. But I would say the victory lap we did at the end. So basically, I went over a pickup truck, and I did a lap after the race was complete, just saying hello to the fans and thank you. So that it was the first time that I was able to experience so many fans and to celebrate with them. There was a lot of people that stayed with us to celebrate at the end. So that was probably one of the highlights.
How about in terms of people you heard from, somebody you were able to share it with, that it was a little extra moving than it might have been other somebody who understood what it meant for you to win this race?
I haven't had much time to go over the phone and all the messages. Honestly, it's been nonstop. But I heard there was Pau Gasol that used to be in the Lakers. He's been following me lately. I think because he knows that obviously I'm from Spain and I'm racing here in US, so similar to him. Then I received a letter from the Kings of Spain, which that's pretty cool. It's not every day that you receive a letter from them. Cool. So yeah, I cannot wait to go and scroll all over the messages that
so
I
you
got.
Literally
Pau before the King.
You did go Pau Gasol, bit of a stunner to go Pau over the King.
He's a legend, Dan.
But also stunning that you just simply haven't had time to listen or look at your messages. Have you slept at all?
I slept, I would say like 4 hours after the race, and then another 4 or 5 hours last night. We went to the banquet celebration last night in Indianapolis, and we got to New York at about 1 a.m. So it's been nonstop, but honestly, it's been amazing. Like I'm enjoying every second of it. I'm very tired, but I'm loving.
Dan introduced you as the greatest IndyCar driver of all time. Are you?
No, absolutely not.
Wow. Is that what he did?
It's
no one's had this kind of start since AJ Foyt. It was 50 years ago.
He's having an incredible season. People don't really know that this race takes like 3 weeks to qualify and practice for. There were over 7 million people watching, over 350,000 people in attendance. I'm sure part of the celebration is, well, I've done it. But also, where do you go from here? You're in the middle of one of the greatest seasons ever. It's kind of hard to kind of reacclimate to the grind of the regular season in an IndyCar.
Yeah, honestly, it's been an amazing start of the season for us at Chip Ganassi Racing and the 10 car. Like, we've won 5 of the first 6 races. I've never experienced anything like that, but the team has done an amazing job on giving us a really fast car every single weekend. Where do we go from here? Detroit. This weekend we have a great opportunity to try and win at Detroit, try and do our best there. It's going to be tough. I cannot have the best preparation that we normally have being on the media tour, but it'll be fun. And then trying to win the championship this year would be super cool to win the Indy 500 and the championship the same year.
Can you take us back to what your thinking was about this as a life and career when you were opening a coffee shop with your wife before all of this winning started, and you thought that maybe that would be the career for you if racing didn't work out?
Yeah, that was back in 2018. I didn't know if I was going to have a real chance. I was not a professional back then. Like I was racing all over the world, but it was tough to get like a real contract for like years. So I didn't think, or I didn't know if I was gonna have a career. So we were like, you know what, let's do something together with my wife. So we opened a coffee shop. We ran it for 2 years, and then we moved to America as soon as I moved to IndyCar. So we sold it. It was fun. We learned a lot, and I'm glad that my racing career went better than my coffee shop career.
Well, you
for
were
sure.
terrible. You were terrible at it, right? You were doing all of the work. You were cleaning tables, but you were a terrible coffee shop owner, were you not?
I was not doing everything, but I did clean a lot of tables, and I did make a lot of coffees. I thought I was decent. I was working my ass off every single day there because it was our business, but it was fun. It was a huge
All right,
learning
forgive me, a
experience.
correction. Were you a successful coffee shop owner? Was the coffee shop something that would have been a good career if racing hadn't worked out?
Oh yeah, absolutely. It was great. Like honestly, it was on this little town in Spain called Girona. It's like an hour away from Barcelona, a lovely town. And yeah, it was going really well. Then COVID hit us. We were still doing great, but yeah, I think it would have been a good business still
All right,
today.
so but if I had come to you then and said, "What do your wildest dreams look like that are realistic right now in racing?" Does it look anything like your last 6 races?
Absolutely not. Like my goal back then was to hopefully one day be part of IndyCar. When I say be part, it's just like have a contract of like 1 year and be able to make all the races and have fun and hopefully get a win or something. But yeah, it was not what we have today. This is a wild dream that I'm living on, and yeah, it's insane.
It seemed like the conditions this year were unique. The track was damp because it was a delay as all the drivers were in their car. You had very seasoned veterans making mistakes, cars stall out on the pit. Connor Daly admitted to peeing himself. Kyle Larson has a spin out and takes out Stingray Robb. It was a very confusing race for people that are just jumping into IndyCar mid-season. What was so difficult about the cars and the track this year?
Well, it was the first time we had the hybrids at the Speedway. That it just added a little bit of weight, a little bit stress to the tires. Then the conditions were not amazing. Like it was super cold. I think it was the coldest Indy 500 we had in the past 10 or 15 years. So it was tough to get the tires into temperature. It was easy to make mistakes. And at the same time, it's the field is so close that you need to go super aggressive nowadays since lap 1, just to try and move yourself up front and have a chance at the end to fight for the win. So yeah, it was tough to get into a rhythm with so many yellows at the beginning, but yeah, I'm glad everything worked out for us.
Have you ever peed yourself?
No, never until today, never. Connor did. I know some drivers did. But yeah, I was close, actually. I was close. We had the rain delay at the beginning of the race. We were sitting in the car for like 35 minutes. There was nothing going on. Just think that we try and hydrate as much as possible before the race because it's going to be a long 2.5, 3 hours, and you know you're going to sweat a lot. So being sitting in the car for like 35 minutes without doing anything, your mind started being like, okay, Alex, you need to pee, you need to pee, you need to pee. So yeah, I think that's what happened to Connor. That's what he said, but I'm glad they didn't have to make it.
Can you explain to the person who might not understand the physical, emotional, and mental drain of how you feel after a race when you have gone in that particular heat, losing, I don't know, how much weight do you lose during one of these races, and how exhausting is it to be that kind of focused for that long?
I would say we lose about 4 or 5 pounds of just pure sweat. Just think that it's a 500-mile race. Like, although we're going really fast, it's still 500 miles that you're sitting and strapped in that racing car. That it's not, the suspension is made for performance, not for being comfortable. We don't have power steering. We don't have power brakes. So it's quite physical. And then just the mental stress of like, not being able to relax for 2.5 hours. You need to constantly know what you're doing, look for any accidents around you, and try and avoid any scenarios. So yeah, it's fun. It's fun what we do, but for sure it's exhausting.
How often will you have drifting thoughts where you're like just thinking, you know, I really enjoyed that ham sandwich in Portugal that time I was there? Or like, how often do you have thoughts that aren't about racing while racing?
And I mean, during a race, it happens sometimes. Sometimes it happens that you're like, oh wow, that coffee, man, or I need a coffee, or you start thinking about stuff. But it's important to refocus super quick. I think that's the key. It's normal to have like thoughts that are from the outside that are not related to racing. We don't have it. At least I don't have it very often, but sometimes happens during the race.
Any chance of you going to F1?
No, I tried. Like I tried 3 years ago. I did some testing with it, but didn't really have a full-time ride there. So it was better to focus on IndyCar, trying to get as many wins and championships as possible. So yeah, man. Now I think I'm in a in a perfect scenario with the team, with the 10 car DHL with us. Like we have an amazing group of people, and there's not many places that I would rather go than where I am, and actually it would be really really tough to live.
Also, it seems like it's a really difficult thing to do, racing multiple circuits. I know you came from F1. Kyle Larson had the famous double attempt this past Sunday. Only one time has it ever been successful. I don't know if you're at the point where you feel like you have enough accomplishments that you can even entertain, maybe possibly pull in a double. NASCAR seems to be about it and afford someone doing it the other way, coming from IndyCar, going into a NASCAR. But Kyle Larson seems very dejected, had a very frustrating day out on that track, and it sounds like he doesn't necessarily want to give it another go. What kind of advice would you give him? Because it did bring a lot of good attention to the sport.
Oh, it was great. It was huge for us, honestly. Like Kyle is an amazing driver. Not only he's good, but also like how he carries the sport and how he talks about it. It's amazing. He's an amazing driver. I think it's just very it's a very long 2 weeks for IndyCar. Like we are there, the pressure is on. You're there like every single day at the track. It's long days, and then combining that with something else, it has to be very demanding physically and emotionally, mentally, everything. So I think it has to be very very tough. I would say that nowadays it's easier for a NASCAR driver to come to IndyCar because we have so much testing. While if there's an IndyCar driver that wants to go to NASCAR for the double, you don't really have much testing, so you don't really have the opportunity to learn about the car, the team, and just to get comfortable with it. Although I would love to do it if I had the opportunity, the good opportunity one day. Why not? I love racing cars. I think I would get in trouble there. Like these guys know how to race on ovals very well, and their style of racing it's a little more aggressive than what we have in IndyCar. But still, would be fun to one day try it.
The NTT IndyCar Series continues this Sunday, June 1st, on the streets of downtown Detroit, 12:30 p.m. Eastern on Fox, the Fox Sports app, and IndyCar Radio Network.